السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين. Inshallah, we will continue to study the section Araf, the 7th section of the Qur'an, and the verse 151. That is, we left off last week, and there was some sort of anger on Moses because the people turned back to worshipping a calf, a baby, maybe ox or baby cow. And when he came back from his appointment with God or meeting with God, we interpreted all of them, what it means for us. For the moment, I mean, one of the ways of understanding it, of course, that's not the meaning of the verse. We never claim this. We shouldn't forget it. But one of the aspects or meaning or signs in the Quran, in the verses, then it also makes us understand in this way related to our time, because we know that the definition of the Quran is the speech of God, who is the Lord of the universe, sustainer of the universe, and the Lord of every human being at every time. And he is speaking with his absolute knowledge encompassing past and future. So it means I am expected to read this verse as my Creator is speaking to me wherever I am. So the verse says, now we interpreted all of them, and Moses was angry and threw away the Torah tablets. That is literal meaning, which we understood from this verse, that while he was angry, he stopped delivering the message. Because when a person is angry, he cannot really behave and control himself. That is understandable. It may even he is a prophet, but of course, as a prophet, he is not expected to do it. Human beings, we get the meaning from this verse that when I am angry, I may really confuse the meaning of the message with my anger, because I'm not really under control. So I cannot control my feelings, so I should stop speaking in the name of God. Because when I am angry, I will speak in my own name. So, but the complaint or warning his brother Aaron, he calmed down and he said, قال ربي اغفر لي ولأخي وأدخلنا في رحمتك وأنت أرحم الراحمين. Moses then said, prayed, "Oh my Lord, forgive me and my brother. You see, when your anger is over, you can say, it was my mistake to get angry. I have to accept the human weaknesses. I have to accept that the people do not have to follow me and do not have to be really resistant or um, consistent in their belief. We have times up, times down. So that is very human and understood. And he said, please, Allah, forgive me and my brother, because he didn't do it on purpose. People didn't listen to him. He must have tried his best, but he cannot really force people. That is against the teachings, the principles of the teachings of the Quran, to force people to be or to remain in the right path. We can't. So some people say if someone leaves the religion, apostates, whatever they call it, in Arabic, irtidat. So there are some kinds of punishments, etc. That needs to be understood within the conditions of Islamic administration. And that needs to be decided about the authorities in religious rules, not by me. And it needs to be really seriously analyzed depending on the legitimacy of the sources, hadith narrations, etc., practices, narrations of the practices of the Prophet, how legitimate they are. It is completely another subject related to Islamic jurisprudence, not our subject. But this is disputed, debated, and there is no really consensus about it among the Muslim scholars. Depending on the ages, the tendency changed. So we say God knows what it is because it is not our specialty. Even it is our specialty, we should know that it would be our interpretation of the narrations. This hadith narrations, how authentic it is, how much reliable it is, this depends. So that is why it is disputed, and never scholars never reached the agreement, consensus about it. So we understand that it is something to be thought carefully. So Aaron couldn't do anything. From this verse, we understand that there is no cohesion in religion. That is the Quranic principle. That is something like a constitutional rule. You cannot force people. So these narrations that just a few minutes ago we mentioned may be disputed, and it is very open for disagreements. Okay. So he understood, he said, please forgive me. It means when we do something wrong, when we are overcome by anger or suspicion or overjoy, anything not normal for human feelings, and maybe do some, commit some things that we shouldn't do, some sins, some wrong things to do, we have to ask for forgiveness. That is an example we are learning here. Not only for himself, he asked, he said, my brother as well, because he understood that his brother is not to be blamed about other people's choices. But he went to his brother and accused him, why you didn't really take care of them. We understood it was wrong. So he said, he asked God to forgive his brother as well. That is what we have to be. We have to behave in this way, because we may get angry with somebody, but afterwards we have to say, we have to understand the human conditions, and we shouldn't really accuse people. It is not our duty to judge about other people and say that astaghfirullah, and as the verse says, Rabbi firli wa li akhi, or weli, I don't know, my friend. You can say it, akhi means really my brother. You can say my brother, you can say my friend, because it may happen between friends and my friends. And وَأَدْخِلْنَا فِي رَحْمَتِكَ. So admit us into your mercy, because forgive us with your mercy and protect us from your mercy. We need it. Otherwise, if we are let alone, we are human beings, we are weak creatures, and we keep falling into mistakes, doing mistakes. So, when Terhamur Rahimin, it is, it may be read, you are the most merciful of the merciful, as it is translated there. But also, we may understand it. When Terhamur Rahimin, I know that you are really the most merciful of merciful. While you are most merciful and most merciful of the merciful, while you are this, since you are like this, most merciful of the merciful, it means it absolutely merciful. It means we should understand this kind of verses like this. You are the most merciful of the merciful people that I can see, because they are only if they have received the fraction of your mercy. So all we imagine that, this person is a very merciful or compassionate. We should know that this is a created being who has received God's name of mercy or compassion, but he is not the source of mercy. Also, it means, I know, oh my Lord, or my Creator, Rabb, you are the source of all mercy that I can see in the created world, experienced by animals, and as far as we can see, and human beings. Animals also behave mercifully to their new generation, to their kids or children or babies. We understand that there is no merciful one in the world. It doesn't mean there are some people really merciful, but God is better merciful than they are. No, it's not a comparison. It is just a rejection of the understanding that some creatures may be merciful from themselves. No. And all merciful behaviors of human beings and animals are nothing but the reflections of the source of existence of mercy. That's what we should understand. This kind of ahsanul khaliqeen, for example, we used in the Qur'an, as if there are other creators in the world, but he is the better one. No, we cannot understand this. It goes against the teachings, the fundamental teachings of the Qur'an. So none of the parts of the Qur'an can be understood without the general purposes of the Qur'an. Every part of the Qur'an must be understood within the whole context of the Qur'an. So we cannot pick up a sentence from a book and say that the author says that, but what is the purpose of this sentence to be inserted in this paragraph? And what is the subject of the paragraph? What is the subject of the section? What is the subject of the chapter? And what the book is all about? Is it a law book? It is a geography book? What is it? So we have to understand any particular sentence or word in any kind of book within its own context. So we have to understand this verse, وَأَنْتَ أَرْحَمُ الرَّاحِمِينَ, as if there are some merciful ones and God is the better merciful one. Impossible to understand it, and also it doesn't mean better really. The most merciful one, because of the Arabic grammar, it cannot be better in this context. Impossible to understand it. So you are the most merciful of all imagined merciful beings who are created beings and cannot be merciful from themselves. Only they are given and created with the ability to reflect the mercy of their creator, reflected. Not source, like a mirror reflecting the light of the sun, but the mirror cannot be the source of the sun, light. We know that. That is how the nature of the universe is all about. Okay, I think I'm done with this. Do you have any comment or anything to say? So I will pass on to verse 152. I shouldn't wait. Just you know that you can interrupt me anytime you want. إن الذين اتخذوا العجل سينالهم غضب من ربهم وذلة في الحياة الدنيا. It's a very important verse. As all the verses are really important, but within this context of this subject that we have been studying for a couple of weeks, this is important one of the important ones. Those who worship the calf, something, a part of this created world, this world, will certainly be afflicted with God's anger. What does it mean? غضب من ربهم. Yeah. It has God's anger or anger from their Lord. But this is literally, God's anger is normal to understand it, not a literal translation, of course. And literal translation doesn't mean that a correct translation may be really incorrect translation. But in most of the cases, literal translations are mostly not satisfactory at all, if not wrong. I mean, not really representing the message of the Qur'an. So literal translations that we are reading in our English translations of the Qur'an cannot represent the Qur'an really, but you may get a glimpse of the general subjects of the Qur'an only. But if you want to get the message of the Qur'an, no. Translations must be behind us. We have to develop that more and more. Okay. Those people who worship anything of this world, not a piece of the material piece of the world, but any value of this world. We gave the example of our calf, ajil in Arabic, el-ajil. Our calf may be a beautiful thing that we wanted, for example, a technological device or status or degree or my salary, my position, my job, I don't know, my ability. So my daughter is referring to Ian. So we had a small meeting with Ian's daughter, Asma. So we may say that, oh, I have a daughter, and this is my daughter, and I'm really bringing her up, etc., feeding her, taking care of. Oh, be careful. All of us, actually, but because Ian is my friend, so I can make a joke with him. No, you are not. You are not. And I shouldn't have claimed that I have really looked after my children. No, God employed me there. I had no other option anyways. Every father and mother especially knows that we can be hungry, but we cannot let our children suffer from hunger. Why? Because encoded with it, we cannot go beyond it. Whether you believe in God or not, anybody cannot do it. Many atheists are maybe more sensitive about taking care of the needs of their kids. This is nothing to do with my choice, really. But the way I treat it is my choice. But in any case, I have to take care of them. I am employed. Animals are the best examples for this. They cannot do but take care of their kids or generations, new generations. So if someone really take his ideal like an idol of anything of this world or belonging to this world, like financial capacity or wealth or whatever, status or inequality, family reputations, and I don't know, public admiration. So you may be famous in social media and saying, oh, you see, I am this one. That means you are worshiping the calf. So they will, and these kind of people, this includes me, definitely. God's anger means God is not pleased with it. It means you are going against the way that God intended in your creation. He created you with this purpose, and you are doing something else. What do? You don't feel happy. This feeling. So if you, for example, give a gift to a person, and in front of your eyes, he takes the gift, very valuable gift, like a child, for example, turning into a calf. It means making out of your child a calf. Then God gets angry, says, no, I didn't give it to you for this purpose. So you will be deprived of the happiness you get from it, if not in this world, which this particular verse is very important, emphasizing on the result of disgrace in the life of this world, which is very clearly stated. We will study it separately. It is important. So at this stage, let's deal with God's anger. So angry means he's not happy with you and he won't give you again. It doesn't mean that you will not have another child. No. You will not experience the happiness of fulfilling their duty in this world and in the hereafter eternally or permanently. That is what happens For example, simple example, if I slaughter an animal, that's it. I cannot give life back to it, this animal. If I cut a tree, that's it. There is no fruit. We can call this one, yeah, you cut the tree, so God is angry with you. He is not giving you the fruit. But that is how we understand and experience this anger in this world. If I misuse my feeling, then I would never enjoy the happiness from this feeling. I will be suffering from the lack of this feeling because I misused it. That is God's rule. In this kind of phrases, غَضَبٌ مِّن رَبِّهِمْ here, God's anger, as it is translated here in this translation, needs to be understood that within the order of God's treatment of human beings, you will not enjoy your life in this world, and you will not be given a joyful life in the life to come after death, because this is the school. We always mention that the universe is an education place. So while we are students in this school of universe, we may not attend the classes. There seems to be nothing. Well, no one comes and takes you up from the canteen and forces you to go to the class and listen to the professor carefully. What do? At the end, they say you don't deserve a degree. That's it. Wow, what happened? What? No one got angry with me while I wasn't attending the classes or listening to the professor carefully, doing my assignments. No one was angry with me. The professor from time to time said, watch out, Ali. If you continue doing this, then you will not receive my love, my appreciation. You wasted my teachings. No more. The school is closed. You don't have any degree. So you have no knowledge that you can practice it anymore. That is hell. We understand that it may happen that there will be a warning from the prophets or by the prophets, through the prophets, but there may not be a punishment, physical punishment, but we have to understand this and get ready for the second phrase, which is the disgrace in the life of this world. But the more we don't attend the class and learn, the more we remain in ignorance. Don't forget this. We remain in ignorance, although the school is the place of learning, getting knowledge, increasing in knowledge. No increase in your knowledge is the punishment in this world. Remain ignorant. At the end, no degree. That is the final punishment. For the moment, we are experiencing this temporary punishment or pain, disgrace, affliction of God's anger, it means God is not happy with me and he is not going to give me any more. So the following phrase in the verse is ready to be discussed. وَذِلَّةٌ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا, and they will be afflicted with grace in the life of this world. That is very interesting. I can take a deep breath now, say Alhamdulillah. You must have been noticing in this class, in this discussion, all of us, but especially as a person who speaks a lot, emphasizes on one point. Whenever the description of paradise, hell, is mentioned in the Quran, as it is described here, God's anger, God's pleasure, and most of these narrations in the Quran are described in terms of next life in the hereafter. As using our example, typical example, we use this example, it is excellent, explains everything. After graduation, no degree or excellent degree, whatever. The several various rates of degree, levels of degree. That is how we are treated. We will be treated, but we keep saying that the Quran speaks to me now. So I have to understand it within my living conditions now, right now. But it is described that in the hell, in paradise, in hell. I said, no, but when we go there, we will experience it, don't worry. This is the result. When the school is closed, you will see which degree you will get. Either pass or fail. But that will happen later on. But I need the guidance right now for my life now. But it is described in terms of paradise. Yeah, look at this verse. It makes it clear. They are afflicted with disgrace in the life of this world. Even there is no mention of in the next, which is true, but there are many emphases and repetitions, remindings, warnings in the Quran, in the next world, in the next world. Now, this verse says, no, don't forget, disgrace in the life of this world is also real. So what we are doing here, let's assume that, but I don't think I'm talking about Ian, our friend Ian here only, but my experience and somebody else's experience as well, if not now, maybe later on, maybe, we don't know, God knows. I forgot about the reality that all the news of the Quran, which represents the reality, real face of this creation, actually, as far as I understand, and we understand that we are studying here to see this reality, this truth in the message of the Quran. It says, if you deny the Creator and attribute all the creation to something else, maybe to yourself, maybe to unknown things like nature, accident, whatever they call it, or happening by itself, this kind of baseless claims, but this is not time to argue about it. It is not the subject now. They may do anything apart from the creator of the universe. I try to explain the things. Rabbul Alamin, whoever owns the universe and has given existence to the universe. Anything other than the Rabbul Alamin, the owner of the universe, Lord of the universe, however you translate it, master of the universe, as you like, whatever you do. I mean, the meaning more or less the same. But includes all it. Rab includes all the meanings in this line. So we are following or worshipping our calf in the language of this verse. Our calf, for example, taking this example, it seems to be not applicable really to our real life, I mean, life experiences. If I say my child is I'm taking care of it, forget about God. Because look, I'm bringing the food, although you are bringing the food created by God, but people turn blind to this aspect of the matter. And I'm really thinking of his or her health. And, if anything happens, then I take him immediately to hospital or to a doctor, clinic, whatever, and get the medicine. I never neglect. And I'm educating it. I'm paying for his or her education. Look at this. All the things I am doing, nothing to do with God or whatever, whoever he is. I don't know, but I'm doing all this. We may think that I am enjoying it. Yeah, people don't seem to be suffering from something. But what they don't experience the pleasure of God's care, absolute being's care. What they do miss really, understanding they are also, the parents are also created, and their feelings of taking care of the baby, children, are given to them by an absolute source of existence, creator, Rabbul Alamin, the word of the universe, my Lord. If I don't see that, first of all, to say the least, we are depriving of God's infinite mercy, taking care of everything. The pleasure of being, or really, how to say, satisfying ourselves. Look how my Creator has given me the sense of pleasure to look after my child. We deprive of it. What we do, I'm taking care of my children or my family. And let's make it family. So if you say, I'm a great parent. So anything happens, you feel what? Helpless. You have to take him there. You have to watch out. And some, especially mothers, are so sensitive and emotional creatures. That's how they are created. It is not a mistake at all. That's their way of being created. So they make sure, are you at school now? Are you safe? Are you safe? Because she or he cannot control, because the child is out of her sight. Worries. So being proud of course, it is a misunderstanding. I am taking care of, I am feeding, I am dressing my child in the best way. And I'm really taking care of my child's psychological needs as well, this way, that way, which is better. All the burden of taking care of the child is left on her on or his shoulder, always sensitive. If something will happen to my child, I have to be. I have to be. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't care, but we should care in the name of God, not in the name of myself, because I cannot guarantee everything. I cannot enjoy the trust in the absolute Lord of the universe. I am deprived of it. And also take over the responsibility on me if something happens to my child. For example, of course I have to do it. I feel very much disturbed, unrest. What happened? Where is she? Is she safe? Like this. Yes, we have to worry, take precautions, but believe in God, trust in God, do it in the name of God, feel relaxed. This is my duty to bring what the family needs, work for it, and whatever I bring home, it is what God gave us as a result of his grace. So be thankful to God and don't be proud of it. So this pride may turn you into a monster. How? You may become arrogant, saying that, look, I am taking care of the family needs, so you have to obey me. So, of course, the child reaches the age of 16, finish. No obedience, especially in this age, even the age of the children who really just follow their own way as they learn from social media, forget about their parents. At the age of 14, 15, then we suffer a lot. Why? They don't listen to me. They listen to you as long as you pay the school fees. Afterwards, they know what they are doing. Generally, that is how human beings are created free. Now he has, or she, the child has grown and became an adult, and he has to grow. He has to take care of his life. But because my curiosity and also suspicions, what will happen? What will happen? Take care of child, take care of child. What happens? Child become a handicapped person. Cannot stand on his feet. Doesn't know. So while you are helping the child, thinking that you are helping the child, you are harming the child because there is no guidance. You are just followed by your emotions, by yourself, owning it. So a lot of psychological depressions, worries we suffer from if we don't see it and do whatever we do in the name of God. So we cannot trust in God, we can trust in our power, and definitely our power is absolutely fine, limited. As long as the child is not in front of my eye, I cannot guarantee anything. Even in front of my eye, the Qur'an beautifully describes this scenery, beautifully, in many chapters actually. In chapter 75, Qiyamah, section 75, Qiyamah, and also in another verse, where was it? I think it is in Waqa'ah. Yes, the section Waqa. When your child or your parent, your friend is in front of you in hospital under the control of the doctors, if you own it and saying that I am the one who will take care of it, the Quran describes as he sees that it is taking, for example, somebody's beloved mother is taking last breaths. Is there anyone? Is there anyone? Oh, what was the verse? Beautiful description, because he cannot do anything. Let me see. كلا إن تراقي وقيل من راق. Who is the very talented person who is going to save it? I cannot, but the doctors cannot. Who can do it? Who can do it? Because he's going to save it. And in another verse, again in Waqa, how is it said? I have to remember the verse. It's very interesting. You can search and share actually in chat. How is it? Just a minute. No. غير مدينين ترجعونها ترجعونها. So the meaning is this: when the death tongue strikes the person, you say, God says, you cannot do anything now, but I am closer to him than you are. After he passes away, the Quran says, okay then, turn it back to life. Yeah? Because you didn't, you denied me, the life giver and death giver. It is my order of creation. So if you don't acknowledge me, you do it then. Come on, turn it back after the person dies. So they are beautiful verses, but when I think of the verse itself, I have to read it from the beginning to come there, so that within the context I will remember it. But you can search. Actually, I think it is the last verses of the chapter, section Waqa. Okay, whatever it is, we cannot guarantee anything, and these worries always remain with us, especially in matters of belief. When we deny the reality, when I deny that the universe is taken care of by a one, then I start feeling how I am a random being, happened to be by chance. I was lucky for a temporary period and I will disappear from this existence, although I have infinite desires to be satisfied. All my reality will fail at the end. So how do I feel? Helpless. A person who is going to be put on the execution chair and killed. But he's on the way. We don't know when. We arrive at the destination, and I will be put on the chair and killed. I don't know, but anytime it may happen, anytime it may happen. And even I may say, okay, I will try to get the pleasure right now. Okay, as you got the pleasure, it disappears. Why? You think that you are making your life happy. You deny your owner, your creator, who is the Lord of the universe. So when I do that, I will feel really ultimately purposeless, ultimately worthless person. At the end, I will become a compost. How can I enjoy my life humanly? I may try to convince myself, but reality is next to me. Reality is next to me. How? I may try, but I know, my feelings know, it is gone, it is gone, it is going. Every moment, it is going. I cannot stop it. I may try, definitely failure at the end. I may have a plastic surgery to look younger, whatever it is, you are old. your organs, members of your body is getting old. Your feelings are really becoming weaker and weaker. You cannot stop it. And definitely at the end, you cannot stop death. You cannot avoid death. You can try in an imaginable way to postpone it, but not avoid it. How can one enjoy himself? Seems to be enjoying. No, they are enjoying not human life, animal life, like animals. Animals are enjoying their lives. They are very happy. Not a human being. Human beings are try to be happy, but mixed up with lots of worries. Why do you think those people who do not believe in God have problems, depressions, stresses, worries, anger? They are not comfortable. I can see that. I can see they are not comfortable. Anyways, disgrace in the life of this world is the point. That is why we should understand all the descriptions of hell and paradise without denying the reality of the end of this world. It is inevitable. I will die definitely. That is inevitable. That is reality. But as far as I'm concerned now, how can I confirm this message? I should be given the opportunity to experience it here in this world. And this verse, some verses says, fil hayat dunya wal akhirah, in this world and the next. But this verse mentions only this life of the world. That is very interesting and makes me feel comfortable that we should understand the descriptions of paradise and hell in this world and try to experience by imagination, saying that if I was a rebel, I think, I was a rebel against God, rebelling God, then I should stop and think how I experience my life now, how much I can enjoy it as no owner, no creator, no conscious being who has given me all these qualities, an absolute owner of the universe, manifesting himself in the universe. I denied all it. It's happening naturally. I said it away. What is left? Nothing. Why? I am nothing. No human honor, no hope. I have to experience despair and try to forget it, forget it. I try to forget it. Forget what? The reality, my reality. But this trial may pretend to be happy in this world, but this trial has to fail. Experience it in your life. Imagine it for a while. You don't believe in God. You don't believe in hereafter. You don't believe that the universe is an owner. You don't believe that you are consciously chosen to exist by a one who put you in this world within the context of the whole the universe, that you can communicate with the universe with these human abilities, amazing abilities. Deny it and see what will happen. Exactly what I feel, that really you will experience a temporary hell feeling in yourself. Well, I do, but I cannot bear it more than a few seconds. So no, impossible, close it. Because it contradicts my human reality. I spoke a lot about this verse as well, but it is worth it to me. We have to understand this grace in this life of the world, and this is how we reward those who invent lying. We didn't mention this. Sorry. Invent, iftira means invent and insult lyingly. Why? Because they are insulting and really lying about the reality. About the reality. And this is what invention, because it has no reality. Insulting without any base, because there is no evidence that anything can be source of existence. Anything. Everything is subject to the order. And we cannot explain the order that matter has developed order. Orderly creation. Why? Because matter exists within the order already. They cannot go out of the order. How they can develop the order of the universe? By accident in the course of billions of years. Even if it was trillions of years. The matter is subject to the order. A thing which is subject to the order cannot develop the order. It is completely illogical. And it's not human. No one can accept it. But unfortunately, nowadays, people buy it. Why? Because of the trick or tricky language, invention. They speak. You see, look how it grows itself. Oh, you see, if there was no sunlight, the plant will not grow. So sunlight is the source of, one of the source of existence of the plant. Sunlight is subject to the order. It has to do it, and it doesn't have any choice. And everything exposed to the sunlight gets the light, and the light is not the source. Light has no quality to be the source of life. If it had, the earth and the mountains would become living beings in the course of time, billions of years. Life is different, or inanimate beings are different under the same light on earth. Ridiculous claim. I don't know how people buy it. Some people are definitely innocent, but most of them, most of the scientists play with the words and cheat people's mind. Let's see what will happen. Yeah, let's study 153.
There are a few comments, Brother Ali, I think.
Sorry?
There are a few comments on the chat.
Oh, I don't see it because it is, I don't know. No, go back. There are comments on the chat. How can I see it? I have to escape from this full view. And here.
I mean, Fariha, what do you
Fariha says, what do you mean that the feelings are becoming weaker?
Assalamu alaikum. You were mentioning something about how our material side decays, gets old and everything. But then you also said something about feelings get weaker. So I was wondering, what did you mean by that? Because the spirit to me, because it's not of the nature of this universe, spirit could be ever fresh. So I was wondering what you mean by feelings. Thank you.
I hope you will reach to my age, and then you will understand the feelings are becoming weaker means my control over the feelings, which are perfect, but my control. I cannot control my eyes, my ear, don't hear now better. I wanted, and also my feelings. I lost control of my feelings. I'm losing. I feel that. I cannot remember as I used to. But my utilizing my feelings are getting, not the feelings itself. I mean, that statement, I remember saying this was wrong. I should make it clear. The control of my feelings, usage of my feelings, benefiting from my feelings are becoming weaker and weaker. Spirit is always spirit. I don't want to become a person whose memory is weaker now, because I cannot remember. But the desire to have a perfect memory is what my spirit is, in fact. Okay, Ian says, what does it mean to use our emotions appropriately? Simple, yeah. Don't own your emotions. We shouldn't, not only you. We should not own our emotions. Our emotions are given to us by God, and we have free will. We choose either using it in my name, which becomes a source of burden on me, worries, stresses, depressions, or various forms of psychological problems. So if we use it, I trust in God, this sense of care for my children are given to me by my Creator. So I have to do it. I have to do it at the best way, as much as I can, try, by trusting God, the Creator, saying that you know the best. You gave me this sense and I am experiencing it. Oh, what happened to the screen? All right. I am experiencing it. Just a minute. All right. You gave me these senses. I am feeling it and experiencing it. And now, this is my responsibility. I have to do my best and leave the rest to God. So I will know that whatever happens to my child, it is God's choice. But without neglecting my responsibility, because God gave me the ability to take care of the senses needed to take care of my family. For example, I have to work and try to be as successful as possible, but something out of control, suddenly I was told that I am out of job. I have to take precautions that it's possibility, but at the same time, it is out of my control. Economy went into depression, and the companies started really laying out their employees. And it happened that one of them was me. It is out of my control. Tawakkul, trusting God. But definitely take precautions that it may happen anytime. It may happen anytime. Now, we should never forget, Ian, or our friends here, that we have free will. We may misuse anything given to us by God, or we may use it correctly. So we have to educate ourselves and not to practice them inappropriately. Try our best. I don't know whether it means something, any help, or do you have anything else to say here?
It's very, very good answer you gave. I'm just curious to know, you said we have to educate ourselves.
Yeah.
Which means should we be educating ourselves?
Inshallah. That is what we are doing here all together. Now, for example, in order to prepare this, I had to work, educate myself as much as I can. And while I'm really communicating with you, as you and Farah, our friend, Fariha, our friend, asked the questions, for example, I understood, oh, this is the point. I have to be careful. I'm learning. And while I am sharing my feelings, I am really learning. The best way of learning is teaching. Do you know that, isn't it? I'm not a teacher here, but if you want to learn a language in the best way, try this. As much as you learn, try to teach this other people who are lower than you. This is the best way of learning. So that is why spreading the message, conveying the message to those people, and really taking the responsibility of teaching other people something of as I know, what I know, is the best way of making progress. Try this. I think the best thing, for example, if you teach some other people what you learned in another language, whatever the language you want to learn, or let's say you want to learn physics, mathematics, or especially mathematics, while you are teaching and helping out to the people about the exercises, for example, you became more and more sure. And it becomes very easier and easier for you as you teach. So the best way this is not only studying yourself, but sharing with others. Whatever you learned, not in an aggressive way, not in taking a position that I am the teacher, you are the student, now listen to me. No. By sharing it, you learn better. That is another way. But first, I have to know so that I will share it with others. Inshallah, step by step, studying the Quran with people who know a little bit better than you. Don't wait the ideal ones. A little bit better than you is another way of benefiting from other people. Okay, thank you very much. I think I have to stop here. We shouldn't go into the verse 153. Next week, inshallah. See you tomorrow in our Zoom meeting. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين